All right. I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekak Kwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Salutations out there to the elect. All right. I want to do a quick lesson, giving you an example of what a blemish looks like. You see. But before I get started with the lesson, well, not Salake, before I get started with this video, I'm going to start right here in let's see, Exodus 4 verse 11 or verse 10. And this is going to show you that the Most High, he creates all of those things, the blemishes, the defects in people, you see. All right, this is Exodus 4 verse 10. It says, "And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue." You see, Moses was telling the Lord, "Oh, Lord, I can't speak very well. See, I'm not good at speaking." All right, verse 11. "And the Lord said unto Moses, Who have made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" You see, so the Lord creates all of these. He creates the defects in people. You see, so as a matter of fact, let's get another scripture to give you some example of some defects in the book of Leviticus. All right, this is Leviticus 21:16. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron, saying, Whosoever he be of thy seed in their generations that have any blemish, let them not approach to offer the bread of his God." Verse 18, "For whatsoever man he be that have a blemish, he shall not approach." And then it's going to give you some examples. It says a blind man, or a lame, or he that have a flat nose, or anything superficial. Verse 19, "Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed." Verse 20, it says, "Or a crookback, or a dwarf." And when you see the video that I'm going to play, you're going to notice that those are some dwarfs. And it says, "Or that have a blemish in his eye, or be scurvy, or scarred, or have his stones broken." So those are just some examples of blemishes. So let's that the Lord creates all this stuff. You see, the Lord creates. He is the potter, and he has power over the clay, which is man. And he creates all these blemishes. You see, he formed man's mouth. You see, he creates the dumb, the deaf, the seeing, and the blind. You see, the Lord creates all of this. He creates the defects and blemishes in people. Now I'm going to give you an example. Here we go. Let's play this video. All right, Salakia. All right.
If you could send one message to the world, what would it be?
One message would be that you don't have to change yourself, and you need to show who you are and just be yourself.
I can tell that talking about this makes you a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
Why does it?
Because I have a lot to be thankful for.
Welcome to SBSK. Join me as I travel around the communicate methods. So without hesitation,
This house, my animals, my gecko, and my family.
Salakia.
the number one.
Stupid ads. Salakia, bear with me. All right, here we go.
Some days I'm not thankful, and I should be.
Why were you drawn to adopt somebody who's living with the same condition?
I think Lisa and I have a very unique perspective on how we grew up.
And as you can see, you know, her adopted parents, they're what you call dwarfs. You see, they have that condition, this condition that causes them to look like, you know, dwarfs. So this is a blemish. But she may be an Israelite, you see. She may be an Israelite.
On the world, and I think we wanted to just share that with our child, and more than just sharing it with stories, but you know, to help her through the same struggles that we had to deal with as younger.
This morning I said, I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad, and I love you, Grandma. And I say that pretty much every day.
Why?
Because they're my life.
We've been waiting about 2.5 years to get an EC, and finally they said, you can come down and just meet her. Well, always remember, she was sitting outside the front of this kind of like yellowish building, and she was in her stroller, and she was sitting there, her bags were packed, and she was ready to go.
I was so
She didn't want to look back.
Do you remember the first time you met them?
My parents? Yes. Yes, I do. And it was just so amazing, and I was happy to have a family, and I could just see the gates opening, and I knew that everything was going to change. And I was happy.
We just really wanted to impart some of our life wisdom with having a lie.
Chris and I both have had so many experiences that we want to share that with the child and maybe make it easier growing up for them.
What is it like to have parents who live with the same condition?
It's like having a regular, normal family. They know how to push you through your life and how to, what to feed you in the morning, and it's pretty normal.
She has physical challenges, and we both deal with that, but mentally we want her to be happy.
Yeah, to be passionate about, you know, something with school and with a professional in the future.
What is your diagnosis?
My diagnosis is osteogenesis imperfecta. It's a brittle bone disease, and I can break a bone very easily just by coughing or laughing. And this morning I was getting out of bed and I broke my rib, cracked my rib. But I didn't cry because I've been through that all the time, my whole life. My mom always says that when you get older, it gets easier, and it does get easier.
When you're young, you break a lot. When you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you break a lot.
How many bones have you broken?
About between 150 and 200.
And then as you go through puberty, mature, and things like that, it happens less. And I often say I don't know if it's because your bones actually get stronger or the person gets smarter. I don't know.
What was it like growing up in an orphanage?
Growing up in an orphanage is pretty difficult. The kids usually don't really pay attention to you that much.
All right, and I just want to I'm not going to play the entire video, but I just want to give you an example of what a blemish looks like and how the Lord creates these blemishes in people, because the Lord creates all things, you see. All right, but she may be an Israelite. I don't know if her parents, you see, they could be Israelites. She could be an Israelite. But, you know, in the kingdom, let's get this last scripture, then I'll end the lesson. Let's see, in the kingdom, things like those blemishes, they're not gonna be hindering us Israelites, because we're gonna be perfect. We're gonna have immortal bodies, and we're gonna be favored by the Lord. And there's not gonna be no more worrying about things like that, about like blemishes and whatnot. All right, let's read Revelations. Revelations 22. Let's start at verse 1. It says, "And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb. And in the midst of the streets of it, and on either side," it's like I'm holding my phone with my hand. It says, "In the midst of the streets of it, and on either sides of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruit, and yield their fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations." You see? So the nation of Israel is going to be healed. We're going to be restored back to our glory. You see? Stated in is it Genesis? No, Deuteronomy, where it says, "Thou art a holy people." And it says, "Thou art above all people that are upon the face of the earth." You see? So we're going to be restored back to that glory. All right. And it says, verse 3, it says, "And there shall be no more curse." You see? So the curses are not going to be prevalent anymore. Us being cursed in the city and cursed in the field, you see? "But the throne of God, of the Most High, and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him." You see? So the curse, let's get the word curse. Somebody bear with me. Let's get the word curse. Curse. Let's see. And a cursed thing, you see? So we're not going to be in a cursed thing. Let's see. I want a more defined definition. Or we're not going to be under the curses. So like it, bear with me. We'll get something else. And then I'll end the lesson. Let's see. Let's see. Bear with me. So like it, bear with me. But anyway, the point is made. So we're not going to be suffering anymore. You see, we're going to have those new bodies, like it states in I think 1 Corinthians. It says, "In this corruption must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." You see, so we're not going to have those type of defects anymore. We're not going to be under the curses. We're not going to be, accursed, but we're going to be blessed. And if she's an Israelite, she's going to be blessed. All right, I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushua, B'Hashem.